Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. So today is the vernal equinox, meaning that it is the first official day of spring, although the weather outside is frightful, but inside it's somewhat delightful. I'm up here in New Hampshire. We're supposed to be getting snow this weekend, but with the beginning of spring, I am actually excited about something. And I realize that sounds very pessimistic of, oh, wow, Darryl is actually excited about something. You know, like I have no excitement in my life. That's not the way I intended that to sound. So I was listening to Penn's Sunday School one day last weekend. I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, but it was airing on the Liberty Radio Network, which is one of the outlets where you can actually listen to this show. The other outlets are listed on the listen page at fppradio.com. There's Liberty Talk FM. There's FPRN Radio. That's Freedom Phalanx Radio. And I think there are a couple of other outlets, but I don't recall off the top of my head. But anyway, they're on the listen page. But I digress. I was listening to Penn's Sunday School, and Penn Jillette said that he had lost 80 pounds in something like 87 days. And actually, after doing the math, it was 78.3 pounds that he lost. So not quite 80 pounds in 87 days. He lost an average of 0.9 pounds per day. And he was on some sort of regimented vegan, vegetarian type diet. And, well, I want to announce, and this is something that thus far I've only told a handful of people. So, you know, if you're not one of those handful of people that I told, listen up, here's some news. So, I am not exactly a skinny person. If you have ever met me, you will know that. If you've ever seen photos of me, anything other than the face, then you would know that. And the reason I say anything other than the face is a lot of large people carry weight in their face. I don't do that. Although I'm sure, you know, if I wind up losing a bunch of weight, you'll see a little bit of weight go off of, like, you know, the neck or something along those lines. But anyway, I'm not doing it regimented the way that Penn Jillette was, and the reason that I use the term regimented for what he was doing was he had a doctor friend that's a dietitian that was, you know, telling him exactly what to do and how to do, and I'm just going to kind of wing it. And I have done a little bit of research, and I'm going to wind up doing some sort of like a vegan-ish, vegetarian-ish type diet, and I'm hoping to lose about 100 pounds between now and the beginning of PorkFest. And one thing that is interesting about the dates between now and the beginning of PorkFest is that it goes from the vernal equinox, which is the beginning of spring, until the summer solstice, which is the official beginning of summer. So sort of, you know, this whole spring cleaning the body sort of thing. I don't really know, but there's definitely like some deeper symbolism there that my subconscious understands. But anyway, so I'm going to, you know, sort of probably give some updates of how I'm doing. So I stepped on the scale today for the first time in a few weeks. I was house sitting for one of the co-hosts of Free Talk Live about a month ago, I think, and stepped on the scale and weighed 316 pounds. Stepped on the scale today was 309.5. And so I have a spreadsheet of how much I want to lose between now and PorkFest, and I've broken it down to this is the target weight loss per day. So my target weight loss per day is 1.177 pounds. And I realize that, most scales don't go past 1 decimal point. So, I've got this thing all calculated out of how much I want to lose every day. And again, I'm just sort of like winging it on this vegetarian, vegan type diet that I am basically making up for myself. And I absolutely hate vegetables. So this is going to be really interesting for me. But one thing that is great about this is that I get to eat fruit. And I love fruit. And this is one reason that I've never done the paleo thing. Because with the paleo diet, you don't get to eat fruit. So for lunch today, and I realize that this is boring to some people maybe, but for lunch today, I made a smoothie. And I've never made a smoothie before, but I made myself a smoothie, and I have to say it's not the greatest, but that's because I didn't have juice or like soy milk or rice milk or something for the base, so I just had to use water. So it's a little watery, but I threw in a couple slices of mango, a banana, and an apple, and I'm eating about a bowl full of grapes. So that's my lunch. I'll probably have like sweet potato for supper, and I might make myself another smoothie, but I'm definitely going to the grocery store to get some kind of something other than water for the base, because this is just way too watery for a smoothie to be. But that said, I'm really excited about this, and hopefully I wind up for the first time in my adult life getting below 220 pounds. And I may have been slightly below at some point since I've been 18, but for as far as I can remember, I've tried losing weight before, and I always hit a plateau at around 220. But I'm hoping that for the first time in my adult life, to not only go below 220, but to get around 200 pounds. And I'm definitely going to give some updates on this. And I promise that next time I give an update, it's not going to take up the vast majority of the first segment of the podcast. But if you want to know, more about what I'm planning to eat or other things, shoot me an email. Darryl at fppradio.com will work. Or actually, you could put pretty much anything before the at in at fppradio.com. Shoot an email, and I'll tell you whatever it is that you want to know. Now, something that I'm not excited about, but I feel that it is my duty and my obligation to report on, is something that happened over at antiwar.com, where the folks over there at antiwar.com have run afoul of the Googlebot. The Google machines are not happy with antiwar.com, and I will tell you why and what you could possibly do to help when we come back on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerary supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $3 per month or any amount of Bitcoin per month, thanks to the recurring payment options provided by Coinbase. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Coinbase is a simple and secure online Bitcoin wallet for sending, receiving, and storing Bitcoin. Coinbase also allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin using a bank account or use their tools to accept Bitcoin as a merchant. Coinbase has more than 1 million consumer wallets and is trusted by over 25,000 merchants, including Overstock.com, Khan Academy, Reddit, and of course, FPP. I trust Coinbase. You should too. Get started at coinbase.fppradio.com. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. There's an Amazon shopping iframe built into the website, or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. So, what has antiwar.com done to upset the Google machines? Well, believe it or not, it's something that they did 11 years ago that the Google machines are just now getting upset about. The news, unfortunately, came out on Wednesday, where Google had disabled all ads from Google AdWords on the website antiwar.com. The original post, as posted on antiwar.com's blog, states, on March 18th, 2015, we received a note from Google AdSense informing us that all ads for our site had been disabled. Why? Because of this page. And they link to the page showing the horrific abuses committed by U.S. troops in Iraq at Abu Ghraib. This page has been up for 11 years. During all that time, Google AdSense has been running ads on our site, but as Washington gets ready to re-invade Iraq, and in bombing, killing, and abusing more civilians, they suddenly decided that their anti-violence policy, which prohibits disturbing material, prohibits any depiction of violence committed by the U.S. government and paid for with your tax dollars. The page depicting the abuses at Abu Ghraib is the third most visited page in the history of antiwar.com's website, getting over 2 million page views since it was posted. To say this is an utter outrage would be an understatement. It is quite simply the kind of situation one might expect to encounter in an authoritarian country where state-owned or state-connected companies routinely censor material that displeases the government. Is Google now an arm of the U.S. State Department? This is a big hit to our funding, they write, and they actually, to answer the question of is Google now an arm of the U.S. State Department, they link to another article that I will get to if time allows during the show. If not, I will post the link in the show notes. They write, this is a big hit for our funding, or rather to our funding. You can bet the boys in Washington don't like us and would just love to shut us down. Don't let them get away with this. We need your help, and you can do it in 2 ways. And then they have a link to the donation page. And if you are not already an antiwar.com contributor, I urge you to do so. I would urge you to donate money to antiwar.com instead of to the fans program. If it comes down to, you want to make a donation, but you only have so much in your, liquid assets or liquid funds, I would rather see antiwar.com get the money than have the money come to me. And I say that not because I don't want people to contribute to help offset the cost of what I do, but I say that because I see what they're doing as more important than what I am doing. So there's the donate page is linked over on the blog post here. The second thing that they say that you can do is to contact Google Ads and give them a piece of your mind. Tell them that you don't appreciate their efforts on behalf of the Washington censors and demand that they reinstate us immediately. And surprisingly, there is a telephone number on the page here. That telephone number, get ready, grab pen and paper, and write this number down. 650-253-0000. Now, I tried calling Google a couple of days ago, and while I did record what happened, I wound up deleting it, and as soon as I did, I wound up basically regretting having deleted it. Not that I actually spoke to a human at all. I went through a voice prompt where it was press 1 for this, press 2 for that. And then after going through that for, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 seconds, I wound up getting a message saying, all of our phone support staff are busy. It will take a while for them to answer your call. And I'm thinking, okay, great, they're putting me on hold, that's fine. And then I got disconnected. So they tell me it's going to take a while, and then they dropped the call. So this was on Wednesday. What has happened since? Or actually, you know what? I didn't even read the letter that was sent to antiwar.com from Google. Let me do that. The letter is dated Wednesday, March 18th at 5:43 a.m. I believe that is Greenwich Mean Time. And it says, hello. This message is to alert you that one of your websites is not currently in compliance with our AdSense program policies, and as a result, ad serving has been disabled to your site. Gives an issue ID number, and then says ad serving has been disabled to antiwar.com. Example of the page where violation occurred, and then it links over to the page showing the photos from Abu Ghraib, from the torture done by American military in Abu Ghraib. Action required. Check all other remaining sites in your account for compliance. Current account status, active. Violation explanation. Violence/gore. As stated in our program policies, AdSense publishers are not permitted to place Google ads on pages with violent or disturbing content, including sites with gory text or images. More information about this policy can be found in our Help Center. And then they link over to the Help Center. And then it just says, violence. As stated in our program policies, AdSense publishers are not permitted to place Google ads on pages with violent content. This includes sites with content related to breaking bones, getting hit by trains or cars, or people receiving serious injuries. More information about this policy can be found in our Help Center. And then they link over to the Help Center. And it says action required. Check your account for compliance. Blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're in compliance with our arbitrary rules and regulations that will be arbitrarily enforced. Blah, blah, blah. Appeals. If you wish to appeal this disabling, you can do so by using the issue ID number listed above. Contact us via our Help Center. And then there's a link. Well, apparently there has been what was originally some good news. Antiwar.com was contacted yesterday saying that their service had been restored, that Google AdSense had been restored to the website. But this morning, Friday, March 20th, they got an email. And I will share that email with you when we come back on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. During the 2013 Porcupine Freedom Festival, Davi Barker presented an idea for a renegade psychological experiment.
Since then, he has refined his idea and put his plan and research into writing. He explains, "We aim to show the world beyond a shadow of a doubt that power corrupts absolutely and corrupt authority deserves no obedience." Authoritarian Sociopathy is available from Amazon.com, all major bookstores, and now available as an audiobook. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for t-shirts, precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. There's an Amazon shopping iframe built into the website, or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. So the email that was received by antiwar.com this morning says, "Hello, thank you for submitting an appeal. However, after thoroughly reviewing antiwar.com and taking your feedback into consideration, we are unable to enable ad serving to your site again at this time, as your site appears to still be in violation. Example page where violence occurred." And then it's a story about the war in Ukraine. And then they restate their policy on violence and gore and their policy on violence in general. And again, they state, "Make sure that your site is in compliance with our arbitrary blah, blah, blah that will be randomly enforced blah, blah, blah. If you'd like to have your site reconsidered for participation in AdSense program, please review our program policies and make sure any necessary changes to your website. Once you've fully resolved any issue with your site, please review the Help Center article to learn more about how to create a successful appeal." So the blog post that accompanies that letter from Google says, "Antiwar.com has no intention of allowing Google to dictate our content." I am very pleased to see that, and I would expect nothing less from antiwar.com. I don't think that antiwar.com would let anyone dictate their content other than the people that are writing, and they can only cover so much of the atrocities, so that's not really dictating anything. That's just covering what they can cover. And I would not really expect anybody that is philosophically pure in their belief to allow an outside agency to dictate what it is that they cover. The blog post here continues. It says, "We are looking into alternative sources of advertising and will not likely be working with Google AdSense in the future. Don't let them get away with it. We need your help. You can do this in 2 ways." And again, they show the or rather they link over to the page where you can make your donation, and you can even do the monthly donation. You can make one-time donations with Bitcoin. I don't recall if they have it set up yet to where you can make recurring payments with Bitcoin. And then again, they list the physical mailing address for Google. So you can write a letter to Google. Now, why would Google want you to write them letters? Is it because they love receiving things in the mail? Well, maybe. But most likely, it is because they want to make it difficult for you to communicate with them. And snail mail does make it rather difficult. Not incredibly difficult, but, takes a little bit of time to write something or, print it out, put it in an envelope, lick it, put a stamp on it. Who has stamps? So you got to go to the post office, buy those things, stand in line at the post office because, there's the little automated postage thing in the lobby. But if you're just buying one stamp, it's going to wind up charging you like $5 for that thing because there's the minimum order of $5 on your debit card or credit card. Who wants to pay $5 for one stamp? And who wants to carry stamps around if they're not going to use them? So you've got to stand in line to give somebody 47 cents or 48 or 52 or however the hell much a stamp costs nowadays, put it on there, and hope that the effing postal department doesn't lose the damn thing. Or you could call this telephone number, go through their voice prompt, be told you're being placed on hold, and then get hung up on. Yeah, Google doesn't make it easy to communicate with them. And what was it? Oh, yeah, don't be evil. That was Google's original motto. I don't know if it still is, but the original motto was don't be evil. And it seems that they have strayed well afield from that. So the article that was mentioned in the original blog post from antiwar.com where it asked, is Google now a branch of the State Department? This is actually from October of 2013, and it's about the NSA's PRISM program. The article reads, the NSA's PRISM scheme was the first big scandal broken in months of ever more egregious violations of privacy at home and abroad. Google and Yahoo were among a number of major companies implicated in handing over broad swaths of customer private data, but apparently that was just the tip of the iceberg, even for data on Google and Yahoo's server. The NSA apparently decided that even PRISM's appalling levels of data collection weren't enough, and the NSA still tapped both companies' data centers. On top of that, collecting data and metadata of Americans and other innocent civilians en masse. Google issued a statement saying they were outraged at the lengths to which the government seems to have gone to intercept data from our private fiber networks, while Yahoo simply denied giving the NSA access to their data centers, which of course was the whole idea of Muscular. Unlike the prison cooperation, Yahoo and Google weren't supposed to know about it. So is Google cooperating with the State Department? Maybe. But is it, just the regular run-of-the-mill consent without being coerced? Probably not. But still, when you are doing evil things, even if somebody has a gun to your head in order to, coerce you to do evil things, you are still doing evil things. Remember the Nuremberg principles? I'm just following orders is not an excuse. Now, let me close out the show with something that isn't going to get me completely infuriated and possibly cause me to have blood vessels in my brain rupture. Apparently, the FAA is willing to work with Amazon on allowing Amazon to use drones for delivery. The story from CNET says that on Thursday, the FAA issued an experimental airworthiness certificate to Amazon, allowing the internet retail giant to conduct research, development, and crew training for its prime air delivery drones. The certificate allows the unmanned aerial vehicles to be remotely controlled by licensed pilots at altitudes lower than 400 feet during daylight hours. You may recall in late 2013, Amazon said that they wanted to use drones to do some delivery packages for Prime customers on small items that would fit in basically a shoebox. Well, looked like back in February the FAA was saying, "Nuh-uh, can't do it." Well, now it appears as though they might be. So I'll definitely keep you up to date on this. This has been Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online, fppradio.com.